This idea is something which the Rebbe talks about on different occasions. One of the, also very much connected to the Yom Le'Roim. The Yom Le'Roim is the day when we're coming to Hashem. Rosh Hashanah, what is the essence of Rosh Hashanah? The essence of Rosh Hashanah is Shetamluchuni Aleichem, L'Achtara Samalach. We are accepting to return to Hashem, and we return to Hashem, right? Constantly, the theme is Hamelach HaKadosh and the Melucha, Melech Al Kala Ilam Kulei B'Kveidecha. And the whole idea of, as the Sag says, that one of the primary ideas of Tkiya Shofar is the idea that in the olden times, when they was to coronate a king, the coronation of a king, there was the blow of shofar. And as the Medrash says, Imru Lafanai, what's the lashon? Imru Lafanai Malchias, or something. Shetam Lichuni Aleichem. I don't remember the exact words, but Hashem says Shetam Lichuni Aleichem. The point of Rosh Hashanah is we make Hashem the king over us. Now this is a huge day. It's a huge day. We're making Hashem king, and how do we make Hashem our king? How do you crown a king? The way that is done is that it's through Kabbalah Samalchus Eidei. The nation has to be completely mevatel themselves to the king and say to the king, we're completely bottled to you, we're nullified to you, and it's all about you. And that causes the king then to desire to be the king and accept upon himself the role of king. And the same in Rosh Hashanah, the Avodah of Rosh Hashanah is Avodah of Kabbalah Sel Malchus Shemayim, of turning to Hashem and saying, Hashem, we're going to dedicate and rededicate ourselves to you and to your agenda and to your mission. So the Hebrew day, very, very, very special, very lofty day. But then we look at our tefillos, and what's going on in our tefillos? We're busy asking Hashem for all our goodies. Hashem, give us this, give us that, right? Bina Malkeinu, everything. How selfish can we be on the day when we're coming and asking Hashem to be our king? Is it about Hashem or is it about us? What's going on over here?
Could be both.
It would seem that it's completely mistimed. Completely mistimed. Today is the day when we're mekabels Hashem malchus on us. If Hashem is our melech, then we're nothing. And how do we have the chutzpah to stand before Hashem and busy asking Him all of our needs? And the Rebbe says the parallel to that is during davening. Davening is called a sulam. Davening is a ladder. The Mefarshim and Chazal tell us that the ladder, which Yaakov saw in his dream, was tefillah. In fact, the word sulam and the word koil have the same gematria, as the Balaturim points out. So we start davening. When we start davening, we're on the lowest level. Hoidu Hashem. Right? Hoidu Hashem is hoidah. What is hoidah? Hoidah is like it says. Umoidim. You have in different times. You have in the Mishnah that moidim beisham beitzilu beishamay or something of that sort. Hoidu this. What does it mean to be moidid to someone? If me and you have an argument, and if I agree with you, so I'm not being moided to you. That's my opinion. That's what I'm saying. What is Haidah? Haidah is when you say something and I say something and I still have my opinion, but I'm moided. I submit to you. I submit. So the opening of davening, which is Moida'ani and Hoidu, that we're not on the same page yet with Hashem, but we submit. We're going to submit ourselves to Hashem nevertheless. And that's the lowest rung of davening. And then on davening, we're climbing the ladder higher and higher. In general, in Kabbalah talks about that there are four rungs in davening, 4 steps, and they correspond to a hoidu up until Psukei D'Zimra. That's the first step, and the second step is Psukei D'Zimra, and the third step is Kriya Shema and Birchas Kriya Shema, and the highest step is Shemona Esrei, which corresponds to the world of Atzilus, which is complete bittul to Hashem. We have every step corresponds to one of the worlds, Asiya, Yetzira, Bria, and then Atzilus. The highest step is the world of Atzilus. No. The world of Atzilus is the world of Bittul. That's why by Shemona Esrei we stand Ka'avda Kamimare. We're an absolute Bittul to Hashem. We're not mafsik for anything because there is no me, there's no nothing. It's me. It's the only part of the tefillah which is from beginning to end. You're addressing Hashem directly. You're not talking about Hashem, you're talking to Hashem. Most of the davening we're talking about Hashem. You're paying attention to your davening, right? Tzadik Hashem b'chol d'rachav. You're not talking to Hashem. You're talking about Hashem, right? Hallelujah Hashem b'mereimim. You're not talking to Hashem. You're talking about Hashem. Shemini Esrei Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu, right? Slach lanu avinu ki chatanu. We're talking directly to Hashem, and we're standing before the King with an ultimate bittul. What do we do when we stand before Hashem with an ultimate bittul? What are we asking for? Hashem, Rafa'enu, Hashem, v'nirafi, give me health. Baruch Aleinu Hashanah Zayis. Hashem, give me parnasa. What?
That's a contradiction to me.
It's a contradiction.
Total contradiction.
You reach the highest level of the ladder
Of nullification.
of bittul, and what are we doing? Bakasha srachav. If anything, at the beginning of davening, when we're still feeling ourselves, when we're still feeling our metzias, by hoidu, maybe over there also we should throw in some bakashas and tchinas. Shemini Esrei. When you're ka'avda kamemari, when you're there, you're asking Hashem. And the Rebbe says, absolutely. When you reach the highest level of bittul, whether it's on Rosh Hashanah, the highest level of Kabbalah Tzil Malchus Shemayim, whether it's during davening when you're standing before Hashem, that's when you turn to Hashem and you say, Hashem, I need Gashmias. You know why? Because that's what you want. That's how I'm going to serve you. To the contrary, when you're not in a state of bittul, to ask Hashem for Gashmias is a chutzpah. Why? Because if I'm a separate mitzias and if I'm a whole yesh and I turn to Hashem and say, Hashem, give me health, that's a chutzpah. Who are you to ask for health? Hashem, give me parnasa. Who are you to turn to Hashem and ask for parnasa? When you reach the highest level of bittul, when you're in Shemini Esrei, Ka'avda Kamimare, then you can turn to the Eibush and say, Hashem, I need parnasa. Not because I need parnasa. Because you need me to have parnasa. Because he needs parnasa in order to be a kadir b'tachtoinim, in order to serve you, in order to be able to fulfill the purpose for which you put me down here in this world. I need parnasa. Rosh Hashanah, Kabbalah said, when I reach the highest level, Kabbalah said, blowing shofar, we turn to Hashem and say, we want you as our king, and Hashem, we want to serve you. And if we want, and in order to serve you, I need health, I need gesund, I need money, I need nachat, I need archava, I need menuch sanefesh. All of these things, I need them. And not only is it not a steer to the bittul, it's the highest level of bittul when you arrive at that place and you have that hakara, you have the recognition of what our job over here in this world
But Rosh Hashanah davening, there's no bakashas there.
Sure there is.
We are in the Shemon Esrei.
What's the whole Avinu Malkeinu? Read the whole Avinu Malkeinu.
Oh, yeah, all right, but the Shemon Esrei. All right, Zachar and Chaim, all right.
Yeah.
But you don't have like the week of
that's all
Shemon
when
Esrei.
it's all when
Right.
the
You don't
plural,
itemize exactly what you.
it's all when the plural for the community, not the individual.
Okay.
So it should be like regular Shemon Esrei.
What about bakashas for an individual? On Shabbos, for example, you're not allowed to say a
No bakashas.
Right. On Shabbos we don't do Avinu Malkeinu. Rosh Hashanah falls on Shabbos.
Okay,
So why not?
Because Shabbos is a time of oinig, and a time of oinig you can't mix in anything which smells of a lack of oinig. It's a different story, and Shabbos takes precedence over everything.
are you allowed to say bakashas on Rosh Hashanah?
It's a shaila for Rav, but I would say, I don't say.
Where would you say? Where we would insert
Rav asked someone who's a major Rav. I don't think it's an issue. I don't think it's a problem.
Why doesn't the davening express this yesod that Chassidus emphasizes? Even the Arizal, the Makubal, the Tefillah doesn't express this yesod that when we ask for Gashmias, it's because he wants, the Dir B'Tachtonim, it would be.
The Arizal was about kavanas, less about nusach and more about kavanas.
So why doesn't the nusach express? This whole thing is a revelation for lots of people. Why doesn't the Tefillah express this yesod that we're taking tonight as that's
doesn't emphasize no emphasis whatsoever.
That's just
to Gashmias.
the yesod.
It's a very big chiddush. It's a very big chiddush. The other points out that on the first day of Rosh Hashanah we have the Haftarah. Guys,
No, come on, look.
look, excuse me.
Sorry.
Thank you. And the first day of Rosh Hashanah, the Haftarah is of Chana, right? Mm-hmm. So you have Chana coming and davening for a child, and Eli chastises her. And obviously everything is true on multiple levels. And Eli tells her, well, "You're drunk." Right? Chana says, "I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk." Right?
Yeah.
So what's this? Eli Pasha didn't know. He thought she was drunk, and she wasn't drunk. Like, what's going on here? So that explains on a deeper level what Eli was telling her was, Chana, You're a holy person. You're a spiritual person. Chana was like one of the 7 Nevi'os, and apparently you're drunk on yourself. You're totally drunk on your own needs. You're intoxicated. What do you need a kid for? And if you don't have a kid, you're so selfish that you need to have a kid, Davka. And Chana's response to Eli was, no. I'm not drunk on myself at all. I want a kid because that's the kavanah. That's what Hashem wants. That's what the bottom line is. That Hashem wants that we should change this world. And Hashem wants us to elevate this world. And that's not through having Yiddish Kindalach and having Nachas and Yidden are doing mitzvahs. And that's really the content also that up there. Anyways, we have a few minutes left. I'd just like to conclude with an interesting point. The last words that we said over here, which we're going to focus on a bit Hashem more in next class. Actually, you know what? Let's talk. I'm going to save this for next week. I'll say a short part on Slichas. And this is what I want to talk about now. We'll save it for next week. It's Shaykh to our Parsha, but also Shaykh to Rosh Hashanah. So this Matzah Shabbos, for those of us who are Ashkenazim, right? We start Slichas. Some of us over here have been doing Slichas for a while already. On the behalf of the rest of us, hopefully you have us all in mind when you're doing Slichas. But for the Ashkenazim over here, we're starting Slichas in Hashem tomorrow night. And the Slichas begins with L'cha Hashem Atzdakam V'lanu Beishas Apanim. Yeah. So what is L'cha Hashem Atzdakam V'lanu Beishas Apanim? On a simple level, we say L'cha Hashem, you do what's right. You do what's tzedek. Tzedek Hashem B'chol Derachah. And Lanu, we don't always do what's right. We're shamefaced. We don't always do the right thing. So the Rebbe asks on this, hey Bazoi, if so, then really you should say L'cha Hashem HaTzedek. Why tzedakah? I'd say L'cha Hashem HaTzedek. Hashem, you do what's right. What's right? V'lanu Beishas Apanim. The Rebbe explains that also what we're implying to Hashem is tzedakah. We're asking for Hashem for tzedakah.
Charity.
Why are we asking for tzedakah? And why are we making such a point out of that? So the Rebbe says the truth is we don't have to ask Hashem for tzedakah. We could come to Hashem and demand that He give us a year, a good gebenched year, and always al pi din. And why is that? He says because we're malachim, we're bnei malachim, all of us. Right? Call Yisrael bnei malachim. Imagine you wanted to get a prince. Okay, Baruch Hashem, it's in the news these days, right? The prince. So now we have some new princes in England. Imagine you went to the prince and you said, "The prince, I need you to do a job for me. How much are you going to charge me per hour? What's the prince going to charge you for an hour? How much money is it going to take to get a prince to give you to do our work for you?" It's going to charge you an astronomical sum. Why? Because the more chashuv a person is, the more even a small thing that they do, the more they need to be compensated for it. Can I go to Chashuv Rav and ask him to give a speech, or go to Chleisa, right? We're b'nei malachim. So every small little mitzvah that we do, we deserve an incredible reward for it. And every yid has mitzvahs, right? All yidden are malay and mitzvahs kirim, and all yidden have mitzvahs. So we could turn to the Eibishter and say, listen, I did 5 mitzvahs last year, and we demand, al pi tzedek, we demand that you give us a good year. But we don't do that. We don't do that. We ask Hashem for tzedakah. Why do we ask Hashem for tzedakah? Because if we're going to demand that we want based on what we deserve, then Hashem will give us what we deserve. But then that's limited. Because even if it's a lot, at the end of the day, it's a cheshbon. And we don't want a cheshbon. We want believable. We want above and beyond cheshbon. We want that which Hashem can give without any cheshbonos. We want Hashem Himself. And Hashem Himself is Ein Sof. And that's what we're looking for. Panim ein lanu. Panecha l'chales. Right? And therefore what? Tzedakah l'cha levad nevakesh. We turn and we say, Hashem, we want tzedakah from you. We want you. We want Eibishter. Now, the Rebbe would say, sometimes he turned to the Eibishter and say, he say, Eibishter, I don't want your Gan Eden. I don't want your Elam Haba. I want nothing less than you yourself. Ich will nur dich allein. I want you.
But that's Elam Haba.
So, no, it's not Elam Haba. That's the Eibishter.
Eibishter is.
Eibishter, I want you.
Eibishter,
we want you. And the Eibishter, you, we can't demand with tzedek. You, we can only demand with tzedakah. Only with tzedakah. Eibishter, we don't want to have a cheshbon and this much Gan Eden or this much money. Eibishter, what we want is much more than any cheshbonos. We want you yourself. We want a relationship with you yourself. And that's tzedakah. And how do we get that? When we have that bittul to Hashem, and when we realize that panim lanu panecha l'chalis, when we realize that we don't deserve it at all, and we're completely batal, and Hashem gives us the tzedakah, a relationship with Hashem Himself, which is ein sof and believable with everything that comes along with it. We should get the tzedakah from Hashem, all of us, for every one of us individually, and for Klal Yisrael also collectively. A good year, a gebencht year, a ksiva